Extreme fighting has quickly become the most controversial sporting event in the world. No pads, no helmets. The only weapon, the human body. Critics compare this sport to human cockfighting. In November 1995, the first extreme fighting was scheduled in Brooklyn, New York. At the last minute, the event was banned by the New York City and state governments. For 2 days, the promoters searched the country for a new home. And on the 18th of November, extreme fighting took place in Wilmington, North Carolina. Since then, the brutal event has met extreme opposition from every side.
I think we're looking at a level of athlete here that's completely different, than we've ever seen before. These are extreme fighters, and they're the best of them. These guys work on their minds so that they can be strong in very bad positions. So when your mind still wants to fight, but your body can't, it can push you even further.
New York, April 1996. Battle Cave Productions has set a date and a place for their next event, the Mohawk Indian Reservation outside of Montreal.
Yo, Johnny, we got a big fight coming up. He's gonna kick some butt.
The offices are filled with promoters and publicists peddling the no-hold-barred event to the media.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna win again.
Montreal. The eager countdown to Extreme Fighting 2 has begun, and final preparations are being made.
No eye gouges, no biting, and no hooking the fence.
2 fighters, nobody moves. Will the fighter stop and move? Fighters get up and we start again, or?
If they're both dead, we'll stop the fight, but otherwise I don't really see, any reason to pull someone out of position.
Fighters are being weighed and assigned their weight classes 48 hours before the event. In extreme fighting, some of the most important decisions are made last, such as who's going to fight who. It's still a new young sport.
Come down. You lose 1 pound, you can fight Nigel Scantelbury. I'll do it. Okay? We'll weigh you in again. You lose 1 pound. He loses 1 pound, he fights Nigel.
Some have to lose weight. Others have to gain it.
So why doesn't this guy start eating right now if he only has to come up 5 pounds?
In the meantime, 20 miles outside Montreal proper, the Mohawks in Kanawaki prepare, because this tribe still insists upon their autonomy. They even have their own police force. Officially, they must obey the laws of the Quebec government, which they hate, and this event is becoming a sore point between the two. Peacekeeper Chief Joe Montour has been ordered to stop the brutal event from taking place. Yet the Mohawk men, women, and children love combat arts and are prepared to do everything to protect their rights.
We've always admired the fighting spirit, or the willingness of the spirit to soar. And what these athletes have achieved in their lifetime is phenomenal, and it's something that should be commended. And not only from the men of the Mohawk Nation, but the women as well, have a lot of admiration for people that have that warrior spirit and that willingness and competitive spirit, to compete at that level.
We all know that somebody isn't going to come here and hassle anybody, so that's what we're going to do.
The fighters, operating on the edge of legality, are debriefed by producer Donald Zuckerman and matchmaker John Peretti.
Make sure that everybody understands here that, if one person leaks this, we're
and secretly transported to their hotel rooms in Ottawa. Extreme fighting in the Franco-Canadian province is close to being forbidden, but the fighters seem relaxed. But little do they know, they're in the eye of the storm. For weeks, negative publicity and public outrage have been feeding the press. Donald Zuckerman desperately tries to keep the event afloat. If the Mohawk Head Council reacts to the pressure of the Canadian government, extreme fighting too becomes the major casualty of this no-holds-barred event.
I mean, in the event that we got kicked out of Canada, could I do this in New York or not?
Worst case is that the Army shows up on the reserve and stops the whole thing. Their history of the Army and the Indians has not been good for the Army. So somehow I don't think that's going to happen. They could also assure us in some way that the telecommunication will take place and then at the last minute pull the plug.
Meanwhile, back at the hotel, the fighters kill time.
Our style, jiu-jitsu, that means in simple words, is a street fight with 100% techniques. Makes us see then the situation so normal for us. To be in anything goes in a show like that. It's like you train in school. So it's the same feeling, You have no kind of, you don't get excited, you don't get too calm. It's a normal situation. Like you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you take a shower. That's the same for us. Because that's what you do, from as soon as you were kids, So, and it's not only jiu-jitsu, but the Brazilian people is like that, You love fights, You have fish fights, cock fights, dogs fights, So something in the blood, it's a virus in the blood.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion Conan captured his first heavyweight extreme fighting crown after conquering his opponent in a fierce, excruciating bout. He'll defend his world title shortly, with everything he's got. Orlando Wheat, a world champion kickboxer from Holland, and his wife Valerie stroll through the city of Ottawa. They try to enjoy the short time before the fight, but recently married, extreme fighting is part of their honeymoon.
As young boy, as I can remember, 4 or 5 years, I started to have a little problem with school. And after that I started to do really karate, really sport for learning the sport. And now I'm 30 and I'm doing it for my life. I win my money with it, I enjoy it. I like to win, I like to lose, I like to feel the pain, I like to give the pain. And the day I get afraid is the day I will stop with this sport.
Zuckerman struggles to keep the existence of the fight alive.
You're allowing somebody to censor our right to speak to the American public. There are people who want to see this. Now, if this event does not occur because you leave, I cannot even tell you the devastation it will cause to me personally. I mean, but that isn't, but that will be the result. And the Native American promoter has every penny tied up in this. Again, I'm not threatening you, I am begging you.
The Canadian crew is afraid of being arrested.
They are in no jeopardy. We've got to fight today.
Everybody on it? Oh yeah, we got them all.
We hang in there, buddy.
Yeah, Martin gets them.
And back in Ottawa, the Battlecade staff and fighters, particularly Orlando Wheat, start to come under fire from the Canadian police.
Please put Donald on right now. The police are here. Just put Donald on, all right? Hi. So the police are here. Yeah, and they're trying to scout us out. It's just that I guess Orlando Wheat has just confronted someone, I don't even know who, and said that, the papers are saying the fighters are going to be arrested, you're going to be arrested.
Hi, how you doing? Hi. So Enzo said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes, I call Emma on the phone. Call him, sir. Sure. You call Emma on the phone?
You gonna sit? Nah, just go.
A shocked Peretti gets the news that Orlando wants to withdraw from the fight.
We came here with no problem. We have solved the problem, and now you're leaving.
Who's that?
Orlando.
come to the event, he doesn't do anything illegal until he fights and see what the situation is.
I would rather you take a wait-and-see attitude. I would rather you come here and listen to the police. She's not going to give you anything, though, Orlando. She doesn't have anything there.
It's not fair from the promoter side because he didn't tell the fighter exactly what is going on.
On the morning of the fight, the kickboxing world champion gives in to the legal pressures and refuses to enter the extreme fighting ring, a slap in the face to the event's promoters. As the other fighters prepare to chase the prize money and the world titles, Peretti is still fuming in the wake of one of his stars' departures.
What do you think about Orlando, John?
Huh?
What do you think about Orlando?
I think he's a piece of shit.
I think he's chicken.
I think he totally chickened out and he used as an excuse, you know, some political nonsense.
But in Kanawaki, oblivious to the legal maneuverings and last-minute problems, Extreme Fighting 2 gets underway. And in the roar of the crowd, the hard months of planning recede as the intense fighters strut toward the ring. Wearing nothing but their pride and wounds from 100 battles, they're about to do what they've trained their entire lives and traveled thousands of miles to do. Fight.
It's time for Extreme Fighting 2. History, sports history comes over here. I'm Dave Fontempo along with John Peretti. And John, we've always had the Gracie name be very big in this contest. Now the emergence of Igor Zinoviev last time, and he's here tonight.
Yes, he is, and he's fighting the #1 Wing Chun fighter in the world today, Steve Faulkner.
Well, of course, he won over Mario Sperry, make him up against the guy 272-0. Now, of course, the Gracie name still here tonight, John.
Yeah, the Gracie name is here and help Gracie, you know, consummate that 159-pound class. And he's fighting tonight Steve Nelson, and Steve is the best sambo in America.
Well, we'll see all kinds of styles. We'll see jiu-jitsu, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and a little kickboxing, wrestling. We'll see which style comes together. But that's not all we have here tonight on Extreme Fighting 2. We've got the Penthouse Pets, and they'll be entertaining you also, one per bout. Let's take a look at the first one. That's Elizabeth Hilden. The order of fights before we get to Elizabeth, Ralph Gracie, of course, Steve Nelson, Jim Rivera, Carlos Newton, Conan Silverian, and Carl Franks. Quite a lineup coming your way with the Extreme Fighting 2. 6 bouts in all. And of course, as we mentioned, the Penthouse Pets.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jason Canals and Nigel Scantelbury.
in the bantamweight division, from Tracy, California, Jason Canals.
Credentials will come in here. Jiu-Jitsu expert, 11-2. Also a great belt in Taekwondo.
Right here in Montreal, Nigel Scantelbury.
Nigel Canterbury, the hometown hero from right here in Montreal.
Yeah, he's the best guy I can find in this weight class. In this whole Canada, he's the most well-rounded fighter.
fighting we've seen in a long time. Well, this should be quite an interesting bout. Jason Canals trains in the Lion's Den in California with Frank Shamrock. Well, we are set to go. 15-minute time limit. And Canals 20 years old, Scantelbury 34, 5'8" to 5'7" for Canals, and their weight exactly the same, 139. And in extreme fighting, John Peretti, the matchmaker, keeping people very close to themselves in weight, so you don't have a mismatch.
Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing tonight at 139 pounds.
That's the weight
With a
limit.
fighting record of 11-2 in martial arts. He holds black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, a green belt in Taekwondo. He currently trains in submission, fighting at the Lion's Den with Ken and Frank Shamrock. He is 20 years old, Jason Canals. And from right here in Montreal, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in 139 pounds, the 1987 bronze medalist in the World Kickboxing Championships. He is 34 years old. He is Nigel Scantelbury.
And there you go, the rules of the ring, 15-minute bouts, 5-minute OT, the championship bouts. We'll talk more about that later. No batting or eye gouging. Doctor or referee can stop the bout. We've also had some safety gloves added. You can win by submission, by knockout, by technical knockout, corner throws in the towel, and of course, John, submission, the most likely of all the scenarios to win by. The doctor has broad discretion, and so does the referee. Let's see about this strategy session about to occur here. And for those of you who saw Extreme Fighting 1, you notice the gloves are different. They are padded for safety purposes, but they do leave the palm open so that the grappler is not given a disadvantage by the safety feature. And we're off, scheduled for 15 minutes. Canals in the black trunks, Scantelbury in the purple, and the mean-looking trunks. Well, Scantelbury's standing up like a kickboxer now, and I think Jason's going to shoot. First move, oh so critical, John. Oh, it's so much in this sport. See the kick? I think Jason's looking for the shoot. And how many matches would you say the guy with the first advantage goes on winning? I think that the aggressor wins at the beginning, but I don't see how technical this guy is, you know? Well, so far, both of them studied jiu-jitsu, looking like they would try to use kickboxing to set that up. And there it is, there's the shoot. He's got him in close. Let's see if he works him from there. A couple of knees, he's got the head. A couple of knees, he's going to take him to the ground, and this could be the beginning of the fight here. Well, Scantelbury gets on top. He's in great shape, but here's Canals trying to get out of it, wrestle himself down. Let's see if Jason knows what he's doing on the body. Goes for an armbar. Oh, he escapes the armbar. Now we have a real fight. Excellent move by Canals to get out of what might have been a closer right away, and he gets himself back in good terms here. What it looks like is Jason's nervous on the outside, doesn't punch and kick near as well as Nigel, but he understands the game because he got right out of an armbar, and he got out of the mount, and you know how difficult it is to do that. And to get out of the armbar and the mount right in succession. He's going to the guard and starting to work the head. Now Scantelbury puts himself in a good spot here. He's looking. He's going to mount him again. Going to try to mount. Try to get Canals to submit. See, Jason just went for an ankle crank and missed it. He did that from far outside. Yeah. Now Scantelbury working. Side control. The crowd always believes here, John, that the end of a bout is imminent when they see this position. Yes or no? No. I'm just watching to see what he's going to do. That was a bad mount, way up in the air. There's an ankle. He's working for the ankle right now. If he turns onto his side, he's got the ankle now. Let's see what he's going to do with it.
Worst thing you can do is try to get an ankle on a guy who's getting an ankle on you. He's got that calf crank. He hasn't figure four'd it yet.
Scantelbury.
He's going to turn onto his belly. He's putting some pressure on him now.
Scantelbury had himself in good
Now he's going
position.
for an ankle. It looks like Jason's got a bad position, and Nigel's getting a better one. He's got the two ankles. Let's see who's going to work on this. Someone's going to have to get up.
Where do they go from here?
He's going to have to try to get up, and Nigel's trying to get up, which could put him in the danger of a joint lock.
Well, kicks attempted here by Canals, trying to get himself free, and there's a lot of blue-collar work on
He's got the ankle again. This is a dangerous one. He's in a lot of pain. Now the hooks are tumbled over. Let's see what Jason can
We'll
tolerate
go right
here.
back to that.
Well, let's see what he can tolerate here. Jason gets up. He didn't submit. Nothing, he popped out.
Well, that was strange. Scantelbury just
popped
stopped.
out. No, he popped out. And you hear his corner saying, get position first.
Well, Canals has established the top. Does he have the better position?
He does not. The only reason that he can't be knocked over to his right is because the fence is there. But he's trying to push. See the way he's pushing him over that way? Now he's in his guard. Let's see how good a guard Nigel has. You'll notice that the right hand is becoming vulnerable because it's on the ground.
We're 4 minutes into the first bout of the evening. Bantamweights at 139 pounds in extreme fighting. And whereas we've had some extreme bombing and big moves in extreme fighting one, here we have extreme technician skills being employed.
I have to say that this is pretty well matched.
That's coming from the guy who put these together, and we've only got
time. He's going to stop the time. He spit his mouthpiece out.
A little safety measure employed there. We have to make sure the position is exactly the way it was.
Well, that's, you know, in boxing, that's a sign of exhaustion there when you spit your mouthpiece out.
It really is, and if referees believe you're doing it intentionally, they can penalize you.
You notice he didn't stand him up and send him to a neutral corner there, Dave.
A little bit of personality for every sport.
Now you notice Nigel trying to get 1 foot under. Jason coming up, just trying to beat the guard.
Canals on the outside and good leg work.
Leg over arm misses. I'm starting to see Jason looking better now. He's going to side control.
He's opening up a little more than he was earlier. Side control, and looks to have a little bit better balance on the top.
Back in the guard.
Scantelbury.
Now watch that right arm of Jason, because it could be in jeopardy.
We're more than a third of the way into the regulation aspect of this bout, and you've got guys with similar styles, and they're waging the war that way.
Nigel's guard is closed and high, which is good, but he doesn't seem to be doing anything from it.
Now, especially to people who have never seen this or just tuning in, what is Nigel trying to accomplish from the bottom?
Well, he's attacking from the bottom. He's got better position. He's got him between his legs in the proverbial guard. He's hooked the right arm of Jason, and that's the one he's working on. He's actually trying to get that arm bar, but just hasn't attempted. There's an elevator. He spins it over into mount.
Boy, John, just as we were talking, he went for it.
And there's a reversal.
That's a sign of good matchmaking right there. These guys able to negate one another. Well, it has been an interesting series of twists and turns as we approach 7 minutes in to this first bout of the evening here.
You see Jason trying to hit him with knees. Not the greatest thing to do. He should be concentrating on getting out of that position.
Is there enough room to work in there for these guys?
It's 27 foot.
Where they are right now, though, being that the fence is right there, are they being choked off at all?
No, I don't think so. I think the absence of a corner is what makes this ring so great. And you'll notice that Jason's come up, but he exposes his heel if he does this. And here they are right in front of us.
Jason trying to do it from the top, and Scantelbury from the bottom.
And Scantelbury's trying to get the heel. Jason's been there before. You can see that, just hanging over him.
Looking for for a spot to get the perfect.
There's the leg again. He's got power in that. Oh, he's saying no. Jason says, you're not hurting me.
And he tries to discourage that by pounding down. Trying to get the leg action removed by firing some shots. And again, you'll notice the gloves.
Comes an elevator. Up, back to the guard. You know, Scantelbury feels the pressure of this guy because every time he tries an elevator, he goes back to the guard for protection.
He's gone back to that guard countless times here.
You see how weak the guard is right now. Jason could come up. But as soon as he senses it, he closes it again.
Now from Jason's position, what is the best way to beat the guard?
Oh, he has to back up. His hands are too forward. He subjects himself to an armbar that way.
So even though you've got aggression on your mind, you've got to be playing a little prevent at the same time. And we've got more than halfway through this match as these guys continue to trade their positions here.
I'm worried about Jason's right hand again. It's so high, you know, and if Scantelbury could just pick his guard up a little more, he could work the armbar. You know, these guys have had a lot of jiu-jitsu training, but they really don't understand the game totally yet. They're more submission fighters.
You see Canals using his hands, but not scoring at all with them. They're more or less being just flailed.
You see that he's got a front naked crank on him now, and he's trying to put pressure on his neck. That's not a choke, that's a crank. He's trying to hurt his neck. It would be helpful if he put double grapevines on. There's a single grapevine. Let's see if he'll go for another one. Just content to hang in there. The single grape again puts more pressure on the neck.
Well, Canals on top. Question is, how comfortable is he? Got a mouthpiece on the mat.
I'm not sure the referee sees it.
No, he doesn't, because we should stop the action. Stop, get the mouthpiece in.
Oh, he's a great ref. Look at that.
Get it right in there. No waste of time.
Trying to turn him over. They're both up again.
Well, they're out of it now.
He's got his head. If he gets guard, he could have a finishing hold. Remember Igor Zinoviev.
What a turnaround that was against Mario Sperry.
Does the position look familiar to you, Dave?
But can he do what Zinoviev did, which was seemingly wondrous at the time?
Well, it was unprecedented, that's for sure.
To beat a guy who was 273-0.
He's still holding it, Dave.
Yeah, this has been quite an intense match for these guys.
Oh, that was a very nice move.
The crowd
Very
reacts
nice
to what
move.
they can see. When it's more in the open, the crowd can relate to it more. Let's see who conditioning.
Watch your knees on Nigel, though. It's dangerous on the inside there.
Let's see about the conditioning aspect. These guys have been at it now for close to 11 minutes.
Jason still smiling. Backing up, but he's still smiling. Oh, Nigel's. Watch the knees. Oh, there it is.
And they trade the kicks.
The elevator again.
Now Scantelbury gets on top.
Side control.
And you see Canals practically climbing the fence to get out, looking for a little bit of room.
This is a very nice fight. They're going for the ankles again. They're trading ankles.
These guys go back and forth with different styles, whatever seems to work, but nothing works for that long. So they have to keep going to the well and trying different things.
Nigel's been closer at finishing than Jason.
He's had the harder work in this battle as we get to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And this opener has been a test of wills. It's been a match of styles, which have been certainly, in many cases, identical. They want to try to do the same things. And 15 minutes is the limit here.
And Jason is really putting all effort he can into that crank. It looks like from here I can't see, but he's figure four'd.
Scantelbury working very hard from his side.
This is a terrific 139-pound bout.
You got guys that can't establish control for too long. Now they've got 3 minutes to go.
Both working on the same type of technique. Makes for an interesting fight. Very tactical fight. Trying to hook
And both of these guys, since they're trying so many similar things,
He's got the heel up now, but he keeps popping it down. But he had his hand wrapped, his elbow wrapped around that heel.
where these guys have gone through a glossary of holds and escapes and reverses. They've really run the gamut here. No overtime in this one. So just 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. And fittingly enough,
looks like Nigel's getting up.
We would get a draw if we go to 2 minutes, this not being a championship bout. Nigel Scantelbury in the purple trunks and has been on the bottom much of this bout. Jason Canals in the black trunks trying to work around it here.
You got to remember now, this is a non-tournament format, so these are just bouts, just like professional boxing.
15 minutes.
So if this goes to a draw, we don't have any judges. We see who wins. If no one wins, they come back in Street Fighting 3.
Well, how convenient that might be. These guys look like they could go at it for 100 minutes and maybe not settle it. They've got a very good sense of the techniques. And Scantelbury, the aggressor here, Canals trying to ward it off, not give in too much and then rise himself. Well, in some sports, John, the tie is like kissing your sister. What would a draw be like to these guys?
I think it's working. The draw, it looks like it's happening.
How would these guys feel about it?
Oh, this is a great fight. I'm sure they're going to be happy. It is the battle of the ankle cranks, isn't it?
It sure has been that tonight. We saw a little bit of the kickboxing in the beginning as these guys tried to establish position, and once they did, they gave the impression they could be here all night trying to settle this.
These guys could go for an hour and a half. You know, Nigel was much better standing fighter than Jason, but Jason showed his experience in getting out of some finishing holds.
And so Canals made this an on-the-mat type of a battle, and they have had similar conditioning, know all the rules, and the holds, the ankle holds. We are counting down, and folks, it looks like this first one is going to go into the books as a draw. Very good matchup as far as in quality. These guys had all the moves, but no way to finish. And so round number one will be a stalemate. We've already reached that time. We're waiting for the bell. And there it is. So Jason Canals in the black trunks, Nigel Scantelbury in the purple trunks. Did not decide it here. They go the full 15 minutes, and John, I think even with a 5-minute overtime session like we'll have for the championship bout, this would have been a draw still.
That was a great fight. Great fight.
We have a draw.
So the crowd being alerted that no winner decided, and therefore it's a draw. It's not a points competition. John, if you had to speculate, if you had to score something like this yourself, what would you think would have won the bout? If you had to say give points.
I saw Scantelbury do much better standing, but Jason got out of a lot of stuff. Just because you're a defensive fighter doesn't make you a bad fighter. You know, you can still be a winner. In boxing, it's a little different. If they were boxing,